Called to order the meeting of Monday, May 14th. If the clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford.
Present.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Here.
Councilmember Warden.
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. You have the minutes from the special meeting of April the 23rd and the regular meeting of April 23rd. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Ashford. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Archibald. Is there any additions or deletions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes will stand as submitted. We do have two presentations tonight. If the clerk would please read the first one.
Proclamation observing the week of May 13th through the 19th, 2018 as Police Week and May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day will be presented to Police Chief Jeff Baker.
Meet me at the podium.
Hello.
I'm going to read this, and then you can make a few remarks. Whereas the Congress and President John F. Kennedy signed Public Law 87-726 in 1962, designating May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week beginning on Sunday, in which May 15th falls, as National Police Week. And whereas the law was amended by the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, Public Law 103-322, signed by President William Jefferson Clinton, directing that the flag of the United States be displayed at half-staff on all government buildings on May 15th each year. And whereas the members of the Port Huron Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the city of Port Huron by unceasingly providing a vital public service. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the Port Huron Police Department will honor Detective Sergeant Roy Chamblou, who was killed in the line of duty on October the 10th, 1930, and all officers who have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty by wearing black warning bands for the 48-hour period beginning Tuesday, May 15th, 2018. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Pauline M. Repp, call upon citizens of the city of Port Huron and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 13th through the 19th, 2018, as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all our citizens may join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in so doing have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. And I further call upon the citizens of the city of Port Huron to observe Tuesday, May 15th, 2018 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of their duty. And let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of all fallen heroes. Thank you very much, and if you'd like to say a few things.
Yes, appreciate that very much. Thank you. Mayor Rep, Mayor Pro Tem Ashford, City Council, and City Manager Freed. On behalf of the Port Huron Police Department, it's my honor to accept this proclamation designating May 15th, actually the whole week, the 13th through the 19th, 2018, as Police Officer Memorial Week. The week is dedicated to the hard work of the men and women in law enforcement, and particularly those that have given their life in order to safeguard the lives and property of others. We should never forget those that put their lives on the line and paid the ultimate sacrifice protecting our loved ones. In 2017, 135 law enforcement officers lost their lives in the line of duty. To date, there have been 53 officers that have died in the U.S. since January 1st, 2018. This week recognizes those individuals as a tribute to their lives and their sacrifice. As mentioned, Tuesday, May 15th is Peace Officers Memorial Day. Our agency will once again host an awards ceremony right here in the public meeting room at 6:00 p.m. honoring the great work, courage, and heroic acts done by law enforcement officers from around the area and citizens at large. We invite each of you and our citizens and friends of the Blue Water area to attend. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. If the clerk would read the second one, please.
Parks and Recreation Director Nancy Windsor will update City Council on a grant announcement.
Mayor and City Council, I want an opportunity today to let you know that we just received word, and I'm very happy to announce that the City of Port Huron was chosen from multiple cities in Michigan, and it's going to be one of the 2 cities in Michigan to receive a destination playground from Kaboom and the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation. This is an amazing opportunity for us. I don't even know if we grasp the full excitement of it. They're actually flying in a design team as we speak. I just spoke to her on the way here to kind of talk to us. But we submitted 3 parks in the city. We submitted Knox, Palmer Park, and Optimus for consideration. They really liked Optimus, being that it was in the Midtown region, that, you know, the kids there don't really have access to as many parks in their area. And then also the buses go by there. It's kind of our main area to town. So we went with it. We've done numerous meetings and conference calls with some of the parents in the neighborhood, and we were lucky enough to be chosen. There's going to be a lot of media surrounding this, so Port Huron's very lucky to get this. We don't, like I said, we don't even know the full what we're getting until tomorrow, but it's going to be neat because it's going to be a hands-on design day, so people, the public is welcome to come. They like kids to help design the pieces. They're custom pieces that aren't anywhere else. And then actually, so that'll be on May 30th already, and then they will be actually doing a build day on August 11th. With over 100 volunteers we got to gather from the community, and as of August 12th there'll be a brand new playground at Optimist, and we're very excited about it. And I did bring a video because it's kind of a cool cooperation. This organization's like a nonprofit, but the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation is a very large donor, and this is one of their very first bigger projects. So for us to be chosen was an honor, and we're very excited about it. I did have Jim bring a video from a city in Oklahoma that had something similar. It's just a minute long, so I just want to show you real quick something that kind of explains how the design day works with Kaboom. So lots of volunteers helping make this work that day. We're going to need lots of help, so be ready.
Today, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oklahoma has partnered with Kaboom, the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation, and several other organizations throughout the metro to build a playground for the children across the city of Oklahoma City.
Gotta be able to jump like that too. So
Kaboom is a national nonprofit dedicated to saving play. We believe that every child should have a safe place within walking distance to play and be a child. Today in America, only 1 in 5 children are able to walk out their doors and walk to a great playground that we're going to be building here. Kaboom is very lucky to be partners with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma and the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation. For the last 8 weeks, we've been working together to plan a beautiful volunteer event.
Really excited. We've got about between 200 and 300 volunteers that are going to build in one day, which is pretty incredible, a playground for several thousand kids in this neighborhood, which is awesome. It's very important to us because we want to be able to drive families down here, that this is a very open, inclusive environment, and this is the first step in that. If you can get young kids to come down when their older siblings are learning to row or kayak, or mom and dad are out doing healthy things, gets everybody involved.
Over the past few years, we've developed the Oklahoma River as just a
I just wanted to show you a little piece of it. Pretty exciting. Like I said, it's going to be a big group of volunteers, so we will be hitting you again for asking whoever can help. But the Optimist Club, I guess, I don't know the full history, but they were the ones that helped start this park, and they're very behind us. And so are some of the moms in the neighborhood. We'll be reaching out to Crawl School as well, since it's in their neighborhood. So just want an opportunity, and I want to thank the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation for choosing Port Huron. It's a great opportunity.
This
So,
is
thank you.
great, Nancy, really
Yeah,
great.
thanks. We're excited.
You should be congratulated
Thank
for
you.
it. This is a total grant, I take it? That-
Yeah, our portion is like 8,000, but my understanding is it's hundreds of thousands of
Dollars, yeah.
equipment.
Yeah,
So,
so we're getting quite a bargain.
yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
quite a bargain per
One
money.
elephant,
And
8,000.
like I said, it was a group effort, many, many conference calls of selling, and telling them how important it is to our community. So we're excited. So
Great.
thank you to our
Wonderful.
people that helped too. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great job, Nancy.
We have a couple of public hearings tonight. If the clerk would please read the first one.
To hear comments on the proposed capital improvement program for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2018.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to public hearing number 1 on the capital improvement program? Seeing no one, I'll declare public hearing number 1 closed. Number 2.
To hear comments on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2018-2019.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on public hearing number 2 on the proposed budget for 2018-19? Seeing no one, I will declare this public hearing number 2 is closed. Number 3, please.
To hear comments on the proposed budget for the Port Huron Downtown Development Authority for fiscal year 2018-19.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on public hearing number 3 on the proposed budget for Port Huron Downtown Development Authority for 2018-19? Seeing no one, I'll declare public hearing number 3 closed. We'll move on to public comment at this time. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening, they can come forward to the podium, give us their name, and you have 4 minutes to speak.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, City Manager Mr. Freed, Mayor Rep, and all the Port Huron City Council members. My name is Jennifer Mahalik. My address is 2208 Brandywine Lane, Port Huron. I am the Director of Health Education and Planning at the St. Clair County Health Department, in addition to serving as the co-chair of the St. Clair County Smoke-Free Team, which is our countywide tobacco coalition. I'm also a resident of Port Huron and have been so my whole life. I'm here tonight to show support for the proposed smoking or tobacco ordinance. The concept of smoke or tobacco-free parks, beaches, playgrounds, outdoor recreational areas, it's exciting for the health of our residents and all our visitors who come to enjoy our beautiful resources here. The Health Department, with support of the St. Clair County Smoke-Free Team, has been working to support City Parks and Recreation's efforts by trying to help demonstrate that there is a need. If you remember, we were here a couple of years ago when you passed the resolution. Over the past 3 years since then, our members and other volunteers, in conjunction with the Adopt a Beach initiative, organized a beach and playground cleanup at Lakeside Park once per year since then. Volunteers picked up approximately 7,000 cigarette butts in those 3 years. The amount of tobacco litter is unhealthy, unattractive, and unsafe. An ordinance or policy change will help keep these areas clean and will establish a healthy tobacco-free community norm, especially for our youth. Lastly, outdoor recreational areas are established to promote healthy activities, and tobacco-free policies such as this fit perfectly. We know the previous resolution wasn't strong enough, so I'm asking you to please consider passing this ordinance. Thank you. If possible, Dr. Annette Mercantant, who is the Health Department's Medical Health Officer, asked me to have a few comments from her, if I'd be allowed to say
Still got
those.
2 minutes,
2
so.
minutes? Excellent. All right. She wanted to apologize. She wasn't able to attend, but this is from her. The St. Clair County Health Department stands in support of the no smoking tobacco ordinance that the City of Port Huron Parks and Recreation is proposing. Exposure to any secondhand smoke or exposure to other tobacco products is unhealthy for everyone. Children, older adults, people with special health needs, and pregnant women are particularly vulnerable to the health risks caused by secondhand smoke exposure, even in outdoor environments. This ordinance will protect the health of our residents and visitors that use any of these outdoor recreational areas. Also, keeping our environment free of tobacco litter is another important factor. Tobacco litter pollutes our environment, takes many years to decompose, and most of it ends up in storm drains that flow into our water supply. We know the resolution passed a few years ago was not enough. It is time to take the next step. This ordinance will help because enforcement will make a difference. We applaud the city for looking at this again and realizing that the health of our community is essential. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the council this evening under public comment? Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Name is Philip Robert Hacker. I am against your ban. If you're going to need any help with parks and recreation and stuff like how many people are you going to find when you have boat night? That's easy. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening?
Evening. My name is Alex Mackin. I live at 1703 16th Street. Like, nobody comments. That doesn't feel like we have quorum, does it? Either nobody knows or nobody cares. It's blight season when the bullies and the peeping toms come out. The Administrative Hearings Bureau costs too much. It's violent. We can have inspectors doing their job for public health risk stuff, and otherwise it can be administered through, people actually talking to each other. I've talked about that before. Did you know that there's birds building nests with cigarettes? And in those populations, there are lower populations of mites and insidious infection. It's kind of weird. The weed killers and pesticides that are sprayed on the sidewalk over here cost way more for the environment and for people. And we need to direct our attention towards where we actually allocate our money and how we think about our environment, how we live in it, and what we put back into it. In the parks, we could just remove the trash cans entirely and institute a pack it in, pack it out policy. You don't have to worry about people's trash. And I mean, really, like, you put one can there and everybody throws their cans there and all the bums clean up the park trying to get the cans. That's what I do. It saves on cleanup. We got bikes in town, everybody's got to get somewhere, and the rental bikes are not democratic. They are not for everybody. You gotta have a cell phone to use it. Like, I bet you if somebody locked their bike up to that thing, it'd get cut off, and then y'all would, like, sell on a police auction. In the video that's gonna come on after the video of this video, there's a video for biking in Port Huron, and the ladies in that video are seen riding against the flow of traffic on a one-way street. They should be ticketed, or they should be encouraged to educate themselves on safe, responsible ridership. It doesn't happen here. We got a lot of people riding against the flow of traffic and nobody thinks about it. Bike lanes, buses on Sunday. We need bike-safe spaces, like a bike highway, like a lot of other cool places. You want to make this town like bougie or whatever. I don't know what you got planned. It seems like chaos. Lower speeds for cars in the neighborhoods. Buses on Sunday. We need our sunglasses at night because our LEDs that y'all installed to save money is actually like 5,000 Kelvin. And I don't know if you know what that means, but that disrupts sleep. And it's making everyone insane. The police need to wear they need to wear cameras at all times. We need more eyes on the problems. That means more people working, getting training here. No static positions. No people getting entrenched developing cultures, keeping people out, in crowding, out crowding. People need transitions, work opportunities, like this dude just talked about. I don't know if you caught what he was asking. People could work here shuffling papers, cleaning beaches, giving people massages, giving cops massages, probably stressed. Giving people that work in hospitals massages, could be stressed. That is a way in and a way up. Citizen benefits. Through any corporatization or privatized industry, none of this dithering of middlemen. All the cronies in the House say, hey! James Freed said, you have interest in the housing corporation. James Freed said, managers, mayors, council members got to get close. And that you reform government. What does that mean? Does it mean that you get to run the city like a business with no risks of the market?
Mr. Mayhem, your 4 minutes is up.
Does that mean that you've reduced opposition and are willing to reward loyalty? Does that mean that all the more that the public's field of representation takes place in a hall of mirrors?
Your 4 minutes are up. Thank you.
You don't represent us. None of you represent us. And if we work together, we can reduce the cost of government. It's time we freed up some funds.
Your 4 minutes
we
are
can have-
Point of order, if this
We-
has to continue, the police we have in here, would you escort him out of here?
We could all have internet.
We
We could have buses that get us where we
don't
gotta
have
go.
through this, so escort him out of the chambers, okay?
All the cronies in the House say, yeah!
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor,
That's quite all right.
boy, whatever. You know, people have to, their respect, and we just don't sit here. We're just not sitting ducks up here, and we want to respect all our citizens out there that come before this council. But when you have that type of behavior, we have to take the position, to remove it. And so that's what we did up here.
Yep,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
We will move on. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening? If they would like to, please come forward, give us your name, and you have 4 minutes to speak. I'm going to declare public comment closed, and we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Archibald. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Lamb.
Mayor Up,
Councilmember Warden.
this is on or not? Can we remove communication number 1? And let's see, the ordinance is number 18009. Can you remove that from the consent agenda? Thank you.
We will take a vote on the balance.
If I could
Councilmember-
we remove city manager number 5 off of consent, please?
Okay. We have 4 more items, so we'll take the vote on those, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Mayor Rep?
Yes. Those items are, 1, authorizing the levy of an operating tax rate for Blue Water Area Transportation Commission as authorized by the voters on May 3rd, 2016, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2018. Authorizing the rescheduling of the July Board of Review to the alternate date of Friday, July 20th. Confirming and approving single-lot special assessments for fines, assessments, and/or cost of removing blight, blighting factors, and/or causes of blight, as well as the abatement of nuisances. And confirming the mayor's reappointment of Edward Brennan to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority with a term to expire April 14th, 2021. We will move to communications and petitions, number 1.
Receive and file notification from the Michigan Liquor Control Commission to transfer ownership of a Class C license from McMorran Civic Center Authority to the City of Port Huron, 701 McMorran Boulevard.
Is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Archibald. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Harris. Discussion.
Mayor Up,
Councilmember Warden.
I just wanted to follow up. This has kind of been going on for a while where we had to, I think, kind of even extend, go back and I think you guys re-extend the McMorran Authority and that because waiting on this liquor license. So I'd like to hear if there's, between the last time and now, if there was any communications that held it up, or any communications at all from the state to the city of Port Huron regarding this?
No, this is all standard. This timeline, this documentation, this is all standard process. We expect no issues.
Okay, so this was just something, there was no communication from the last time till now? This just looks like it came in today.
Well, you're holding the communication
Yeah.
to receive and file.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Yeah, so you just waited on this letter?
there's a standard process that the liquor control goes through. This is all standard process for any liquor control transfer.
Okay, I
We don't-
appreciate it.
We don't approve it, we're just receiving it and filing
Yep.
their documentation that they're taking care of it.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Anything else? We'll take the vote to receive and file.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to, from the city manager, number 1, please.
Accepting the quote from Ainsworth Electric Incorporated in the amount of $14,300 for automatic transfer switch replacement at the 16th Street Sanitary Pump Station.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ashford, is there a second?
Second?
Councilmember Lamb.
Madam Mayor, the automatic transfer switch is what, if there's a power outage, the generator automatically kicks on, and this is the switch that does this.
Okay.
And this is a replacement of what we already have.
Correct.
Mayor Rep,
Mayor Pro Tem Ashford.
yeah, this is routine? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I would say we saw the benefits of having these type of contingencies in place with the windstorms. Lenny's team did an amazing job putting all of our lift stations, pump stations on power backups for, I think, at one point more than a day. So it's good to have this reliability and redundancy in our system.
Restoration.
Mayor Up? Couple questions. Did we have one of these, this is a replacement, so how long ago, how long did the previous one last, and how long do we expect this one to last?
Lenny, if you could speak to this, I believe this is addition to this, the update to this lift station, so I think it's actually a new switch, but Lenny could speak to it.
Madam Mayor, council members, this particular piece is attached to the generator, not to the lift station per se. The generator is from the 80s, and it's original equipment, and we test these monthly, and this one has been having problems. We put it on the list to be replaced this year, and we got 3 bids, and they're all very close, and that includes complete installation.
Lenny, how many generators of I know we have like 2 or 3 generators that'll need to be replaced eventually, the towables?
Yes, we have 13 lift stations. We have a total of 10 have, I believe, 10 have full-time generators. The others are portable. If we need them, we could bring them in from our warehouse. This is one that's permanently installed. This is our southernmost lift station down on 16th Street, and it's got a permanent generator.
So it'd be fair to, the council can anticipate in the next couple of years to be replacing some towables?
We will be, yes, we're replacing some towables, we're replacing generators, we're, updating lift stations. This is a standard recurring process.
Just so follow up, again, how long do these automatic transfer switches generally last? Because I see, $14,300. There was at least three bids, which I like, and looks like benefited the city of Port Huron to have the 3 bidders respond, but
They
like, you know-
generally have a lifetime of about 20 years. This one's lasted over 30.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good. If there's nothing else, we will take the vote.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2 under from the city manager.
Accepting the unit price bid from R&S Contracting Incorporated in the estimated amount of $8,108.38 for pavement striping services.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Councilmember Archibald and supported by Mayor Pro Tem Ashford. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor, just a reminder that we break these contracts up into 2 between the pavement markings and striping because it's different equipment and different vendors have different capabilities, and this is to encourage more vendors.
Any discussion?
Mayor Rep.
Councilmember Warden.
What was the, this is something we do every year on this?
Yes, certain quantities amount, budget amounts every year.
Do we know how this looks like? It came in, again, this, at least there's two bidders, and the second closest bid was 14,000, so 8,100 is a significant, I guess, benefit. But how much do you think, I guess roughly, was it in the past years for this type of what you bid out?
Last year, the bid for the linear striping was around 7,500. This is in line with that. The
Okay.
next one, well, I'll wait till you get to the next one.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. Item 3, please.
Accepting the unit price bid from PK Contracting Incorporated in the estimated amount of $57,386 for pavement marking services.
Is there a motion?
So,
Councilmember Lamb, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Ashford. I'm just going to take liberties here.
all right, it's okay. Trying to keep it moving.
Yep. And maybe you can answer the same question for this one, I guess.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor, Council. The bid last year for this item was $38,000. It increased by almost $20,000, primarily, well, two factors involved in that. One, we increased the units for this particular element for crosswalks and stop bars because we are engaged in a process now of improving pedestrian safety throughout the city. So we've increased the number of lines that we're putting in for crosswalks. But we also were a little bit surprised when we found that the unit prices for those two items were almost trebled. You know, for whatever reason, the cost has just gone very high. So, yes, that's why the increase is in the order of about $20,000.
Any questions, discussion?
Mayor Rep,
Yes,
just a
Councilmember
comment.
Harris.
Lenny and I have shared some emails in the last few days over this item and stuff, and it's really interesting because this is kind of something I've picked on over the last few years. But it's amazing how much this has gone up. But like he was saying, that the size of the project was probably almost double what we're doing. But I guess the only thing that I have, and I'll probably be voting for this, but the one problem that I've had in the past and stuff is some of the companies that provide low bids, their templates for some of these intersections and railroad crossings and stuff like that just don't match what the previous templates are. And do we have any kind of a over supervision so we can make sure we're getting the same quality as what we've got in the past?
When, as you know, we bid these things almost a year in advance. This bid is for next year's work, which will occur in the spring. And we bid it now because if we bid it later in the year, we would find that their schedule's filled. We have to bid it early in the year for next year. We ask them to notify us when they do a circle of the whole state. We ask them to let us know when they're going to be here, and we can follow them. They put down what is approved by the MMUTCD in terms of pavement markings for arrows and onlys and pavement markings of that kind. So what they put down is what's actually approved by the MMUTCD. It may not necessarily match what we've had in the past, but because these things change from year to year.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mayor,
Yes.
so just to piggyback off that, what he's saying, so there is some kind of quality assurance or some kind of inspection sign off?
Yes, ma'am. We have our inspector would
that's what-
make sure that we oversee them. In fact, they were doing some work just last week. You may have seen them throughout the city, but this is from last year's bid.
Right, yeah. But I was just talking about the process at the end where you
Correct.
sign
We have an
off.
inspector.
Yeah.
That's why we ask them to notify us when they're going to be in town, so that we
Right.
can have somebody out there, making sure they put the markings at the proper intersections. We meet with them during the year to say, these are the intersections we need work on, et cetera. And we do have an inspector that oversees that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion or questions? Thank you. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes, we'll move on to item 4.
Accepting the quote from On Duty Gear LLC in the amount of $10,500 for the purchase of 30 Armor Express Traverse external ballistic carriers using funds from the drug forfeiture account.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Archibald, is there a second?
Second?
Councilmember Lamb, is there discussion?
Mayor Rep,
Yes, Councilmember
just
Harris.
just for the interest of the public here, this company used to have a local location. They were downtown, and then they moved out on Lapeer Avenue and stuff, and like a lot of businesses today, they've consolidated and pretty much take their operations out of town, but I know that if you talk to anybody, the officers that have dealt with them, it's a very, very highly rated company, and it's a good bid, so, yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Mayor Rep,
Councilmember Warden.
I just appreciate, again, there's at least 3 bids here. Next closest is a couple $1,000s higher. And again, to keep our police officer and police officers and police department safe out there, I do support this to keep them up to date and make them have all the tools that they need to keep us safe and them safe. Thank you.
Anything else, other discussion?
No, I just, Mayor Rep, I just like to, what stands out for me is that sometimes we rate this, but the funding is being used from our drug forfeiture account. So, that 360-degree kind of a connotation, you think that they're doing this bad out here, but yet we have the opportunity to recycle this money for good.
It's true.
So I think that's a good point.
Very good. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Warden,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to item 5.
Receive and file the quarterly financial report for the 9-month period ending March 31st, 2018.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Lamb, is there a second?
Second?
Councilmember Archibald, can you give a little overview?
Yeah, things look good. Our revenues are exceeding our estimates by ever so slightly. We believe that the revenue sharing payment from the state will come in and be slightly above what we anticipate, probably around $100,000, $200,000. So that's good. Our expenditures are below what was budgeted amount. For those line items that are exceeding, those are for once-a-year invoices, for instance, healthcare, or once-a-year invoices that are not on a monthly occurrence. So we're feeling very confident that this budget will come in under to a positive outflow.
Thank you. Is there any questions from council?
Mayor Rep,
Councilmember
I guess the only
Harris.
reason I took this off the consent thing is I think it'd be appropriate if we could maybe kind of get an overtime report by department, which we have had done in the past, and I know we had a little graph here about partway through the year, but it'd be nice to just, if we could get that graph that I know with previous years we've got, and if that would just help show where we're at, as far as overtime. 'Cause I guess that's our big trigger is overtime and stuff, and we're through the winter season and stuff now, and maybe it's something that would just give us a little more detail what we're going. Other than that, I think it looks really good, so, but,
I will provide that on an annual basis, but I want to be clear that you can't just look at the overtime report. There needs to be also looked at the staffing reports. So sometimes to keep wages down, we'll run overtime higher in June and July in the police department rather than hiring additional officers for 10 months or 12 months when we only need them for 2.
Yeah.
And so we never zero out overtime. We strategically use overtime to keep costs down. And so I will provide an annual report on overtime like I always do. But there's 2 sides of the equation that need to be looked at, of course. Also, I believe our original budget we had was, our original budget we adopted was about a $700,000 deficit. We believe that by the end of the year, we'll cut that deficit in half through efficiencies.
That's good. Good. Any other questions, discussion? We'll take the vote to receive and file the report.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Warden,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. We'll move on now to resolutions. Number 1, please.
Authorizing 11 payments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Archibald, is there a second?
Second?
Councilmember Lamb, is there any discussion? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Number 2, please.
Authorizing and supporting the submission of a matching grant application to the Tony Hawk Foundation in partnership with the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation for the design and construction of a permanent concrete skate park within Optimus Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Archibald, is there a second?
Second?
Councilmember Lamb, is there discussion?
Mayor Rep,
Councilmember Archibald.
I would just like to congratulate Nancy and her staff again on a job well done, and appreciate that they're always looking for improvements and things for our youth to do in all of our parks and throughout our entire community. So thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem
Um,
Ashford.
that last whereas before now, the last whereas, when it talks about evidence of community support for projects under consideration and da. So do we have any identified people or organizations for local matches just yet, or is that still in play? Still in play, okay. Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Mayor Rep.
Yes, Councilmember.
Again, I also want to thank, Nancy and her crew to continually submit in, to try to find some grants. This is Optimus Park, so, and we just had your good news before this meeting, or the start of this meeting. Is this something that you're looking to, hopefully potential add to that Kaboom award grant, or is this something that was kind of requested or from the local, community in the area, looking forward to this type of, it's a concrete skate park?
Mayor Rep and City Council. It's a combination. When we submitted for the Kaboom grant, they want this to be a big project, and they kind of asked us to look at our skate park. We've always been, that went there, I don't know how many years ago, probably Pauline can help me out with that a little bit,
Quite a
but
while ago.
it was always the intention that we would add on to the skate park when it was built. It was a grassroots effort from citizens that did that. And then kind of things went, the economy took a turn, and it was kind of not really done anything with. So we've always kind of had it on our mind, so this is an opportunity to just put some feelers out. They kind of asked us to look at it, so that's what we're doing. So that's the same with the matching at this point. We're kind of new in the game. We've had a lot of people reach out to us, actually skateboarders that actually skateboard by Pine Grove Park since they saw this grant was out and have expressed interest, but we'll see how far we get in the process before we go. This is really just the first step, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also,
Yes, go ahead.
also, your volunteers,
Yeah.
you can just see me after council, I think I have a dedicated,
That'd be awesome. That'd be great, thank you.
about 200.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, you're
We
welcome.
could use that, thank you.
Thank you. I don't think there's any other questions. Thanks. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 3.
Authorizing and supporting the submission of a matching grant application to the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs Capital Improvement Program for the replacement and upgrading of their electrical and lighting systems at McMorran Place Entertainment Center.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Councilmember Archibald, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Ashford. Is there discussion?
Mayor Rep.
Councilmember Warden.
I just have, again, for each of these items, a similar comment to appreciate, again, the staff and the team trying to find grants and try to find a way to submit in for potential grant awards. There's just a lot of preparation and time behind and detail, and so I appreciate this, and I do support this one as well.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to ordinances. Number 1, please.
Second reading and enactment, an ordinance to amend Chapter 36 Parks and Recreation, Article 1 General of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adding Section 36-9 to prohibit smoking in city parks and beaches.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Lamb, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Archibald. Is there discussion?
Mayor Rep?
Councilmember Warden.
Yeah, actually, first thing I had is, like last previous meeting, I think I inquired if it went through the Planning Commission first before it came here, and I think it was told that was no. And just for clarification, an ordinance like this, how did it get originated to get on our agenda last meeting? And again, at least for the first reading, like who was involved in the wording of the first reading for an ordinance?
So that would be myself, Nancy Windsor, and our city attorney and the city clerk.
Okay, thanks. And again, I think it's the next step. I strongly support it, especially with some of the other cities around town that have instilled this type of thing on their city parks and beaches and so forth. And I think it for the health of the community and to give just a little more bite for the enforcement of it, I think it'll hopefully help improve that side. So I am in support of this, and thank you.
Additionally, the chief of police also was consulted on this ordinance.
Good. Thanks.
Any other comments or discussion? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Number 2 under ordinances, please.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 52 zoning, Article 6, off-street parking and loading requirements, Section 52-772, Table of Off-Street Parking Requirements of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adding parking uses not previously defined.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Archibald, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Lamb, is there discussion?
Mayor Rep,
Councilmember Harris.
I was at the Planning Commission the other evening and looking at this, and there was little or no discussion on it. But I was kind of looking at it afterwards and looking at the kind of background in it, and it talks about the parking lot for like the tennis courts and stuff like that. But also if they have additional seating and stuff in the tennis areas, it also requires to provide additional parking and stuff. And I guess when you get right down to it, is this something that can be enforced, or is it going to cost us to provide more parking? Let's just say Court Street Pool. If they put in seating for 100 people, are we going to have to find more parking places? So I guess that was the bottom line when you think of what the good this can do. You kind of wonder if it's also confusing for the simple reason that if they have seating there at the tennis thing, then we have to provide additional parking.
I think we have Mr. Haynes going to answer that question for us.
Good evening, Council. Especially when we have site plans coming before us, and we have the opportunity to review a new development, and we're looking into their parking requirements, and is the design suited for its use, and ensuring that we have enough parking. And that's why you see, more so than what we had in the past language, we see a blend. If it does have fixed seating, then we are going to make accommodations for those fixed seat. If it is not, and it's just an open area, you're going to have less demands and less parking demands. So this allows us more flexibility as it goes into the site plan process.
More flexibility, but more requirements too.
Exactly. Yeah, we have more flexibility, and it's all dependent on the use.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Warden.
Yeah, I also did, I attended that, at least the Planning Commission meeting there. I guess just so I know, what was the reason behind, starting just changing or trying to reword just these few items, and where did that kind of start, and why were the other ones discussed entirely, whether they should be adjusted all or not through this process?
We had a project in which there was a fitness center being proposed, and we looked at our requirements and realized it doesn't really describe that type of use. So as we went through, we broke it out into, as you can see, it's now broken out into 4 sections, whereas before it was all in one section. So we actually added some definitions that weren't necessarily part of the original ordinance.
So do you feel that these, 1 per 300 square feet instead of 1 for each 3 seats, or 1 for, one, I mean, do you think this kind of at least loosened it up a little bit to be more something for, to draw and allow people that want to come to the city of Port Huron and to open one of these or renovate or partake and do this? Is this something that is actually going to be more restrictive, or do you think it's going to be more, what's the end?
In looking at other communities, we looked at Jackson, we looked at Bay City. Bay City actually had a higher requirement based on the seating. So I don't think it's going to be less or more restrictive than what you would find in, let's say, a competing community.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought I would ask for a little background there, and just figured one thing we need to do is still leave the door open for trying to accommodate people coming in, and help continue to revitalize our town. And but of course, parking is an issue, so we need to address those requirements. So I appreciate it. And I have one last question. Was there any comment or feedback at all through the first or second in the process of this from anybody regarding the potential change of this wording in the Planning Commission?
Any comments?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We will take the vote.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald? Yes. Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Mayor Rep?
Yes, that concludes our regular agenda. Before I get on with the announcements, I noticed there's a couple of young men in our audience tonight that are scouts. You can put your hand up. I assume you're here to work on a badge, is that correct? Would you like to come up and introduce yourself and tell us what badge you're working on? Don't want to put you on the spot, but,
Yeah, I'm working on a communications badge. It's an Eagle-required one, and one of them is to attend a public meeting, city council, school board, or debate, and get it approved by the counselor. Then we have to take notes on the discussion so we can talk about it at our meeting.
Very good. Do you want to give us your name?
Grady Butler.
Very nice, very nice.
Hi, I'm Nathan Sparsky. I'm doing the same badge as Grady, same requirement. After I get this requirement done, I'm probably going to earn the badge.
All right.
Very good, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you for your time.
Nice.
Okay, we have a couple of announcements. We do have a special city council meeting to discuss the budget, which will be held this week on Wednesday evening at 5 p.m. in conference room 408. The Public Safety and Civilian Awards and Recognition Ceremony will be held tomorrow night, 15th, in the public meeting room of this building right here, 6 p.m. Volunteers are needed to assist with planting flowers during the Beautification Commission's annual Plant Day, which is this coming up Saturday, May 19th. And if you're interested, please contact the clerk's office at 984-9725, extension 0, for more details. And just as a reminder, our next city council meeting in 2 weeks is actually on a Tuesday instead of a Monday because of Memorial Day, so it'll be the 29th would be our next regular meeting. Is there anything else to come before the council? And I guess I didn't see that on the other page, and I guess I put that in there anyways without flipping the page. So there you go. And the city offices will be closed on that date of Monday, May 28th. Anything else? Councilmember
I'm
Harris.
glad to see item number 3 in here, because this really stands out. As I come to the meeting tonight, I'm driving down McMorran Boulevard, and there's a fantastic lady out there on her hands and knees working on that city garden and the boulevard and stuff there, and I just think that these people, they don't get enough recognition for what they do to make Port Huron look nice.
I would agree with you. There's not only the Beautification Commission, we also have a couple of garden clubs in town,
Yeah, that's-
and they do the parks and all of the
Nicest.
boulevards, and we would be lost without any of those volunteers. So-
Absolutely the
would be.
best, yeah.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Passionate too.
Yes.
And I mean, she said, I want this over there. I went, oh, Lord. I said, I don't know what we volunteered for, but they were, it has to be really precise.
Do it right.
And they do, yeah.
Is there anything else?
Mayor Rapp,
Councilmember
just a quick
Ward.
question is, Memorial Day weekend is coming up pretty soon. Is there going to be a parade in downtown Port Huron?
There is a parade on Memorial Day, and there's also a ceremony in the park. Starts usually, the parade starts at 11, I believe, and the parks usually is about 12 o'clock.
Yeah, do you know who's kind of hosting it? Do you know who's hosting it?
Yeah, the Veterans
The
Association.
veterans,
does it,
okay.
Yes. Mhm.
So 11 o'clock, and then the parade's at,
The parade's at 11, and the ceremony follows the parade,
Okay.
usually closer to 12.
all right, thank you very much.
You know, I think, Mayor, excuse me, Mayor, we got an invitation.
Yes, we did get
something
an
in there.
invitation.
Yeah, we got it in our
Well,
thing
just
here. You
public
must have
announcement.
missed it.
Yeah.
Public announcement to make sure everybody's, it's coming up quick, so.
Oh, no, you.
I attended every year.
Personally, but, yeah, but personally, you got one, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
That's, yeah, every year they hold that.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, if I could, I just want to congratulate Chief Baker for being named the new police chief of the city of Auburn Hills.
Yes.
It's a very prestigious move, and congratulations to him, well earned. We're sad to see you go, but we're glad you're enjoying your retirement and
You know what?
In another community.
yeah, enjoying your retirement over in the city of Auburn Hills. I also want to welcome
Season tickets. though.
Chief Select, our Fire Chief Select, Corey Nicholson, here tonight. He has begun shadowing Main Guy for the next about 30 days, 30 to 60 days. So when Chief Main Guy retires in July, there will be a smooth transition within the fire department. And so it's good to have both of them here, and it's nice.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anything else? Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.